My name is Donna Shirley. My most recent real job was the manager of the Mars exploration program for NASA. No, I started when I was 10 years old. I was always interested in airplanes, always interested in flying. And when I was 10 years old, my mother took me to my uncle's graduation from medical school, and on the program it said Aeronautical Engineering. So I asked my mother what that was, and she said, "Oh, that's people who build airplanes." And I said, "That's what I want to do." So I did. From the time I was 10 years old, I did airplanes, and then I got into space stuff, and I did space the rest of my career. Well, it was kind of disappointing when you go in. You're a freshman, you're 17 years old. You walk into your advisor's office, and he says, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I'm here to enroll in aeronautical engineering." And he said, "Girls can't be engineers." And I said, "Yes, I can." And so I did. Um, but I was always the only girl in the classes. Well, an aerodynamicist is a person who figures out how to fly. And the project that I worked on when I first got to JPL was how to land on Mars. And the atmosphere is so thin and that you have to go in with this blunt body, and it goes in very, very, very fast and heats up a lot. And the question was, how blunt do you make it? Do you make it narrow or wide or flat, or how you make it? And so there was a lot of work to analyze what was the right uh, shape to land on Mars. And one of the things we did was we went to Langley Research Center in Virginia, and they have a wind tunnel. So we flew these shapes in the wind tunnel, and then we took pictures, and then one by one in the film we looked at the picture and say, how's it doing? Is it going to fall over? Is it, so we spent a lot of time doing that, and then a lot of time doing mathematical analysis and stuff. And in fact, all of the missions that land on Mars today uh, have that shape, the one that we fixed. Okay, my first space mission was Mariner 10, which was Mariner Venus Mercury. And we flew past Venus and used the gravity of Venus to warp the trajectory so that we could get to Mercury. And then we went to Mercury, and we were able to use the gravity of Mercury to go around the sun 3 times. So it was amazing mission. It failed and failed and failed. It, everything was broken, but it all worked. When we finally got there, everything worked. It we were tearing our hair out trying to figure out how to fix all these things that were broken. And I didn't do too much of that. The hardware guys did much of that, most of that. Well, you have to take math, you have to take science, you have to take engineering, like Introduction to Engineering is a normal first class. And it turns out that engineers make a lot of money. So it's also a very desirable field if you can, do the work. In fact, I was just reading an article that said the most uh, uh, well-paid profession is chemical engineering, and I'm not sure why, but all the top professions, most of them are engineering, computer science, electrical engineering, aerospace. It's amazing. So be an engineer.